know where your food comes from? I'm not talking about just from the grocery store. I'm talking about growing your food. By 2050, we need to increase our crop production by 70%. For the past 4 years, I have been a member of FFA, attending Washington Leadership Conference, National Convention, and discussing in our local chapter about global food production. My father is very active in agriculture management. He runs a business that deals with increased crop production and chemicals. Have you ever wanted to be involved in helping our world? Even if you don't live on a farm, there are so many ways that you can get involved in growing food. We must find new ways to produce more crops with the same amount of land to feed our growing worldwide population. We can do all these things by growing gardens in new ways, such as genetically modified organisms, are also known as GMOs. But we can also increase our crop production with precision farming. I will discuss the different ways that we can help solve the increase of our crop production in our world, extending to our future. Our growing world will not change if we don't get people involved in new ways in producing food. There are so many ways that we can help. If you just have a small space for a garden, there is a very simple and easy way to help increase our food production. Mel Barthelmess and John Javons wrote books about gardening. Mel's book was published in 1981 and was about square foot gardening. John's book was published in 1974 about biointensive gardening. Biointensive gardening is an organic agriculture system that focuses on achieving maximum yields for minimum areas of land. In Mel's book about square foot gardening, she talks about how it is simple and that anyone can master it. There is no companion planting, no crop rotation, and no soil preparation. In John's book, talks about biointensive gardening. It talks about development, fertilizer, soil, and permanent garden beds. There is also so many ways that you can make multiple gardens. Just because you don't have a lot of room for a big garden doesn't mean you can't have one. You can use fertile soil and permanent garden beds and pathways. This helps you concentrate on your efforts only where plants grow without having to waste water in unplanted areas. When working with a permanent garden, try to limit stepping on the soil so you won't compact it. If you choose to raise the garden bed, the plants will grow just as well. You can also use unique recyclable materials if you don't have room for a garden. There are so many things that you can use to grow food and water your garden with. You can make a planting rack by using discarded wood and old milk jugs, which is also an easy way to grow plants. You can also use old rubber boots, a PVC pipe with holes for drainage, and a display of twine and soda bottles swung over a wall. There are so many more things that you can use that is recyclable to grow food. Have you ever heard of GMOs or genetically modified organisms? Well, they have helped increase our crop yield and becoming very, very popular. GMO crops have been found to have a 10% change in genetically modified herbicide. They also have increased 1.7% in production, which has regulated GMOs in developing and transitioning countries. The GMOs are used as a synthetic chemical pesticide. They can decrease the use of pesticide, and research has proven that it is not harmful to our health. Studies show that GMOs have increased crop yields by 22% and reduced pesticide uses by 37%, and has increased farmers' profits by 68%. For thousands of years, humans have been using natural organisms for usage in agriculture, which new technology has taken these trends further. DNA technology also allows biotechnology to insert the DNA into the plants, therefore creating plant traits. With these GMOs, we can produce more food for our growing world. These are are also the increase of crop production with precision farming. The farmer has to test the soil and then apply the fertilizer. When a farmer goes out and tests the soil, they are testing for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium levels that are in the soil to get recommendation on what each acre needs. Then they will lay out a grade map over the farmer's field with the help of satellites that take them to the center of the grid. They'll pull samples and send them to the labs to get results. After the farmers get results, they will apply the fertilizer. The variable rate of replace and put on the field from the grade results to make sure every acre is most productive as possible. This process is done by using multiple application machines such as dry sprayers and air trucks. In order for our world to grow more food, we must use new ways to produce more crops with the same amount of land. To help increase the food population, we will need to use the small space gardening that everyone can do. This will only happen by using fertilized soil garden beds, unique recyclable materials, and start using more GMOs that will increase our crop production. And finally, we need to continue the use of crop precision farming. It might not sound easy to grow more food for a growing world, but if we put in more time and effort by growing a small garden and growing more food, we can all make a huge difference in our world.